It's interesting how you're seeing narratives change. It's almost like next thing I'm on here is that Fauci's shooting emails back and forth, people thinking that the pandemic may have escaped from a Wuhan lab. Oh, wait a minute, that did happen. Or maybe I'll find out that the masks that we're buying at the stores couldn't really stop the virus. Oh, wait a minute, that has happened. Now, the latest, Bubba, I'm watching our current administration, and they're starting to be a little mean to people who just want to come here for a better life.
You know,
they just want to come here for a better life.
VP Harris, we can't get her to the border to look at the problem, but she's gone to Guatemala, Rick, to look at the root of the problem.
Root of the problem.
I could tell you what the root of the problem was before you left.
Now, I want you to imagine when past administrations, especially the Trump administration, when they said something like this.
Mm-hmm. They had so many isms that they were committing, it was unbelievable.
Here's Vice President Kamala Harris to the people of Guatemala.
And I want to emphasize that the goal of our work is to help Guatemalans find hope at home. At the same time, I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
What?
The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border. There are legal methods by which migration can and should occur.
Was this Donald J. Trump?
But we, as one of our priorities, will discourage illegal migration.
This is unbelievable.
When did this start?
This is really
Donald J. Trump.
What just happened?
Who is
this
who's
dressed
up like Kamala Harris?
Is this Donald J. Trump?
What if he pulled the mask off? Okay, you got me.
Wait a minute, is this somebody?
Here I am.
Greg, wait a minute, is somebody dressed in drag and they look like Kamala Harris?
Complete opposite what they said
Is
during
this
the election.
is this a conservative? What did they just
unbelievable?
did they just say that we're going to enforce? We're going to enforce our laws, and we have legal ways for you to come to our country.
If you think about this too much, it'll make you mad.
What in the world?
Well, this
I thought they were all
Rick,
about
goes
open
back
borders.
to that thing where
Rick,
you
this
act
is
like
the-
I never said something. No, I
this
never
is
said
the
that.
make-believe world that liberals live in. They can't even be real with themselves. And the Guatemalan president actually called us out on it, called her out on it, and said, since you've been campaigning, you said come to America.
Yes.
You'll have an open door. And now that's why they came.
Do you remember us? Remember us saying to the administration that was trying to take over and did win? However, you have everybody can have their own opinions, but I'm talking about currently. This is the administration that is, and they were saying what? Look, we're open border. Why do we have walls?
Rick.
Walls are evil.
Yep.
You remember the whole thing? We said, well, the one thing the Constitution said that the federal government is supposed to do is protect the border. Oh, well, there you go, you racist, xenophobe, and you probably
fat, redneck,
you don't
gun-loving,
you don't like
Jesus-believing.
My gosh! And we said, well, no, you're right. Immigrants have made this country great, but there's a legal way to become legal. Yeah, there you go again.
Smeagol.
Who are you to deny and put a fence up for people who just want a better life? No. You know what they said? If we win, y'all come. And now they said, here we are. What do they call the leader of Guatemala? Is it a president?
Yeah, I think
El Presidente.
Yeah.
You know what they're saying? You told our people to come there.
You invited
This is your fault.
And now, Vice President Harris goes, no, they were coming not because we said come or we weren't going to enforce and we wanted to tear the wall down. It's because of climate and economy.
Rick, when I say
okay, they're in one person.
What?
One person pouring over the Rio Grande that said they're coming there for global warming. Because let me give you a hint. Central America, it's hot as hell all the time. That's right. Okay?
Yeah.
That ain't nothing new.
Been there many times. And
Come on.
I've been there, and it is hot. It is very hot. Let me tell you
we
where
were
it is.
building
hot.
a wall and we stopped. They decided to stop. That means, come on. We're the wall no
Rick,
more.
What you say gets to Central America. It gets there on social media. It gets there in radio broadcast. When the Trump administration said, you ain't coming in, we're building a wall, people said, well, we're not going.
They don't need to go.
And then when people said, hey, we're tearing down the wall, we're stopping the wall, come one, come all, they loaded up and headed that way. It's not that complicated. They want to come here because we have a higher standard of living.
Period.
That's it. You can sum up all the reasons in that. You don't have to mention global warming. I know that somehow justifies what you're wanting to do at home. But, folks, it's just a higher standard of living. So what we ought to do what we ought to try to do, honestly, with Guatemala and other places. By the way, Guatemala's looked down on by Mexico like it's assumed we look down on Mexico. They look down at Guatemala that way, okay? Look at their laws concerning Guatemala and coming into Mexico. We'll take the same laws on our border today, but you're not allowed to do that.
I'm gonna make a non-political statement about every sovereign nation. This is non-political. This is walking around chewing gum, common sense. There's nothing wicked or evil, and it makes logical sense that any sovereign nation should be allowed to, with zero complaint, vet out anybody that's coming into their country. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's
That's
back
not a
up
political
minute.
statement. That's just walking around sense.
Let's back up here a little bit. Why is the standard of living so good in the United States? What made it so much better than Mexico or Guatemala or wherever? Well, just look back. They've been around probably. When did Guatemala become a country? Do you know? No. I know Mexico's older than the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay. So why is it better here than there? I mean, that's a simple question to ask. It's been free market.
Yeah.
It's been rule of law. It's been
Maximum liberty.
Maximum liberty.
You're talking about things they're trying to take away now?
Anti-corruption.
Yeah.
Right. You let people set their own course and reap their own benefit from it, good, bad, or otherwise. And guess what? The standard of living will go up. It always does. It always has. But we have this mentality that somehow socialism is the way to go. Well, guess what? You got plenty of that in Central America. It hasn't risen to the level of the U.S. and won't.
That's why people are pouring in here.
That's why they want to come here. We don't have a immigration problem the other direction.
Absolutely. Hold on.
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute here. You mean to tell me if you knock walls down and say, y'all come on in, that people will come?
I'm afraid so.
Huh? So if you don't protect the borders, people just roll in here from everywhere? You tell them to come and they come, right? In big old crowds? Do people want to go where things are better? Huh? How did this happen? I'm confused. I mean,
And Rick, here's the bottom line. It doesn't mean that American people are better than Mexican people. Doesn't mean that they're better than Guatemalan people. No, I mean we can't accept that thinking if we're true believers, okay? Because we know every nation, every tribe, every tongue will be before the throne on that day when you get good and faithful servant passed in. So we can't buy into the racist theories, okay, that's out there. But what we can do is say the system of government allowed freedom and allowed growth in some areas where it didn't in others. Right. That is the facts. You can't deny it. And so why don't we work with Guatemala to get rid of corruption, to have more liberty, to have less taxes, and let people go out and invent and do their own thing, and then hire people and live the Guatemalan dream.
Well, it goes back to this, too, the thing that they don't want to say. Number one, they will not say that open borders do not work, okay? The other thing they're not going to say, and they won't say it, if people of color are treated so poorly in the United States of America, if you're supposed to believe that narrative, you come here, it's nothing but a bunch of evil white people who hate people of color. Why are all these people of color trying everything they can to still get here?
Life and death to get here.
Drag their children through the desert.
So that narrative must not be true either.